Well, welcome back to the channel. It's Rob, CDN Freight Broker. It sure has been a minute, hasn't it? I apologize I haven't posted in a little while, but it's been busy. Spring has sprung for me in my niche world of freight brokering as a freight broker agent. So I figured I'd do a little video, little update. But the first topic to the subject of the video is, are you pushing yourself? So it's Saturday morning, and I just came back from workout. I'm drenched. It was a hard workout. Circuit training. I've been working out for years. I'm not going to say I'm a fitness guru by no means. I know a lot for my own purposes, but I'm not going on YouTube to be a fitness person. But the point of the story was, it's the circuit we did. It was a group workout, and the first round I did pretty hard, but not as hard as I could. But I did basically the first round to get a feel for timing and how much weight I could, the things, we had some weighted items and a variety of things. I'll kind of post some pictures to show some of the areas that we're in, and you'll see a screenshot of the movements we were doing. But basically, first round, I pushed pretty hard, but I wanted to get a feel for how long everything's going to take and how hard I need to push. And then each round, I progressively made it harder. I used heavier weights, or I did something a little faster. I challenged myself every round to get myself better and better, how I can be more efficient in my transitions from one movement to the next, and so forth. And so how does this tie into freight brokering? Well, how it ties in is you need to push yourself, especially if you're a new freight broker agent or you're just getting into it, like you're a carrier and you started your brokerage. I apologize. Hopefully there's no background noise through the mic, but I'm in my facility where I work out, and there's a big field house, and there's a game going on. So hopefully we'll see what the background noise is like. But if you're new into the freight brokering world, the initial stages is hard. It really, truly is. I'm not going to deny it. For 4 to 6 months, you really got to put meat on the stick, and you got to build those relationships. There's a variety of ways, but you got to build those relationships. And so in order to do that, you got to push hard. Sometimes if someone's got freight that you want moved, or that they have freight moving, and you want to be part of that, they might say no at first. And you have to find polite ways to keep engaging yourself with them and finding ways to get connected. And then through that, you have to get in deep to these customers. That's really the bane of this business. The successful brokers are those that are truly connected to the customers. I cannot emphasize that enough. It's all about the deep sell. When your customer has a project or shipments on the go, you want it so you're the first person that they're thinking about, that your name comes up as being that person. Just this week alone, to show that example, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week, 3 days in a row, I had shipments at like 4 o'clock where the customer called me, same customer, but they called me last minute saying, something's come up, we need a truck right away. Well, I was able to get it done. I did that on Wednesday. And how did I do that? Through my network relations. It was carriers I know. I knew who to call when they called me, right? I just knew who to call, and that carrier came through. I picked up they called me on Wednesday at 4. I had the truck at the shipper in 30 minutes. They put it on their line haul and brought it from one province to the next province, first thing the next morning. And again, the next day, similar. Last night, Friday night, it was 6 o'clock. I get a phone call. They need a truck this morning, Saturday morning. And I got it done. And again, I have deliveries happening this morning. I've got carriers involved and things happening. I'm communicating. I just finished my workout, and I spent the last 15 minutes on the phone sorting some questions. There were some items it was a 2-drop shipment going to sites, and they were confused about a few things. So I'm coordinating there. And then, I'm getting calls. I got to get another truck for Monday morning. And it's just, there's a lot going on. But to get to that level where you have customers relying on you and counting on you, because why? You're coming through for them consistently over time. So that's the key, is really that consistency. Starting out, when you first start out, you're just getting your foot into the door, trying to build relationships, trying to understand their business, and trying to show your level of service and what you can do. But as the key to it is the faster that you can better understand the customer. Talk about how situations happen if there's after hours issues and things, so forth, and how they can reach you after hours. If you're part of a bigger company, you got to be accessible in this business. Freight is moving all the time. So I cannot emphasize enough that push yourself hard. Every single day, you start out small, and then you got to build up. So every day, find something new skill sets to learn every day. That's pushing yourself, learning something new every day about the mode that you're focusing on. If you have a business of reefer, learn something new every day about reefers. Understand how, let's say when you talk about reefers as an example, pushing yourself, okay, so you have to have a refrigerated truck, it's supposed to be set at this temperature. But as an agent, when you're new to this industry, let's say something goes astray and you got that load of produce that was supposed to be at a certain temperature and there's a core temperature that's supposed to be taken, and let's say the lettuce or it's meat or something else that doesn't meet those standards at the time of delivery. So at the time of pickup, the shipper and the driver confirmed all the trailer temperatures were good. At the time of delivery, it wasn't good. So you as an agent, what skill sets and knowledge do you have about reefers that will help you solve that issue? And what I mean by this, you need to learn. How do carriers actually pull the report from that reefer unit to show what the running temperatures were from the time the driver left the shipper to the time they arrived at the consignee? Did they have to go? I believe, you have to figure this out. You need to study this, but typically some carriers may have the ability to get the reports themselves, but most, in the high 90%, have to go to the trailer manufacturers, and then they download the report from there. But the point is, you have to study all these things to learn. The more that you can learn about your mode of transport, you're going to be so much better off. And so push yourself every day to learn. Never stop being a student of this industry. The minute you become complacent, it's just like a sports game. If you're watching a football game, a hockey game, like I was watching the playoffs yesterday, the NHL playoffs, you think a team is doing great, they're looking good. One momentum swing happens, and all of a sudden, the other team shifts the momentum, and then they get a lead, and all of a sudden they're winning the game. So it happens in sports all the time. Look at professional sports. You can see it from football, basketball, hockey. It happens all the time where just something happens on the game, and a little lapse of the team gets a little complacent. They got a slight lead, and they think they just have to maintain it to get through the game and get that victory. All of a sudden, one lapse or one mistake, and the other team takes advantage of it, and they shift. So you want to be that person who's always shifting to take your winning. Take that, if you have a moment elapse where something happens, issues, take that opportunity to learn from it and turn it into a victory. So push yourself to learn, push yourself to get deeper relationships with the customers, push yourself to learn about the industry that you're servicing, not just your customers. Understand, the more that you, if I can't emphasize this enough, when you are with a shipper, when you learn your shipper's customers' procedures, and you know the receiving procedures at all the facilities you're picking up and delivering to, so that when your customer calls you, they know, they trust that you have all this knowledge. They just call and say, okay, Rob, I need a truck from point A to point B, and you take care of it. They know you know everything. And that's what gets you to that next level, is when you can have that trust with the customers, that deep relationships where they can count on you. You've come through them time and time again. And how do you do that? You have to consistently do that. So at the beginning, when you're quoting different customers, treat every customer as your last chance. This is your last time. This is the only opportunity you have. So if it's a small shipper, big shipper, doesn't matter. Have a consistent standard operating process in how you execute, because guess what? Referrals are a fact of matter. Your perception, how you left, even if you quoted someone and they didn't give you the business this time, but you quoted them in such a way like, wow, this guy or this person, this girl really knows their stuff, and they give you another quote, and your price was a little bit high, all of a sudden, but they really like your detail, and then the next time they kind of have an urgent shipment, so they give it to you and they pay a little bit more, and then you communicated well. Your truck was on time, your paperwork was accurate, everything you did, the pricing you quoted, you didn't come back and try to overcharge them, and everything just worked out. All of a sudden they're like, wow, that was a great experience. So I'll leave you with this. Always leave, what's the last impression you left? What's the perception that the customers have of your level of service, and how do they feel about it? So it's your job to create those standard operating procedures and leave that great impression so that they want to come back and they want to tell their business colleagues about you. So when their customer says, hey, you know what? We're having problems getting trucks. Like, can you, that, trust me, it happens. Warehouses, companies, like say, the main distributors or the wholesaler sells to the distributor, and the distributor is trying to get something out, and they're like, you guys always have trucks. We're struggling. Can you suggest someone I can call? They might refer you to that business, and that can become your next customer. And how did you get it? Referrals. So I can't emphasize that enough. Referrals do exist, and they do help, and that's how you can really, truly grow your business. And that's going to be the best growth because it's coming from a warm lead. Your existing customer refers you to one of their people, and then it makes the process so much quicker. So I'll leave you with that. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you.